Okay, this is the help video for task 3 of the progression task project. And I'm just looking at the card here to see what we need to do next. Task 3 says compose a 4-beat rhythm using notes and rests. Perform it in time to a steady pulse using a metronome. Okay, and if we look across the evidence that that's required for us to complete this task, it says this time there's 2 items, and the 2 items are we need the rhythm, which could be drawn on an iPad or could be drawn on paper, which I recommend really. Draw it on paper and then take a really clear photograph and clearly label it task 3 rhythm when you upload it. Then, in the same way that we did for task 1, we're going to find our metronome again. We're going to set a comfortable tempo for us, and we're going to perform the rhythm that we've written. So this is such an exciting task because this is the first time in this project where you're going to write your own music. So what a privilege that is to be able to decide exactly what happens and what other people will listen to. So really exciting this point. Okay, so we've got to compose a 4-beat rhythm, and I'm going to give you an example of how I would do that, and this is how you can go about it. Okay, so to begin with, let's remind ourselves what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a 4-beat rhythm. Learn how to spell these words because they're really helpful for you. So R-H-Y-T-H-M is how you spell rhythm. And there's 4 beats. I'm going to put a time signature at the start of my music, which is 4-4. The top number means how many beats there are in the bar. There's 4. The bottom number means what type of beats they are. So there's 4 crotchets in a bar. And as we learnt in task 2, when we were thinking about the quantization values, those values actually, if you know those will help you to understand time signatures a little bit better, because that's why there's a 4 at the bottom, just like there is in the quantization value for crotchets. Okay, now I've got to create a 4-beat rhythm, and I learnt on task 2 some of the note values that could be added together essentially to get to 1 beat. So what I'm going to do is begin by drawing 4 squares. Now you've got to use your imagination here and imagine that all these squares are exactly the same size. In other words, they're identical, because every beat in the bar is identical. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a bit of a palette of choices at the bottom of things that you might choose. So for example, you could choose a 1-beat note, which is a crotchet. And if you were in my year 7 and 8 classes, you might have learnt to say the word T, which we use to represent a crotchet beat. Another option is you could use a crotchet rest, and on this occasion, if we keep going with the words, I'm going to suggest you say sh. You can't actually say sh shorter and longer, so let's go for just a crotchet rest, or representing a crotchet rest, a 1-beat rest with sh. The next one is I'm going to give you 2 quavers, and remember how they're beamed to get together so it looks neater in the music. So I've connected them together, and you might know that rhythmic word as coffee. The most important thing when you clap coffee is that you don't go coffee, because it's coffee. And what's so important is that the 2 halves, the 2 half-beat notes, are both exactly a half. There's not a gap at the start of the beat and then they're very quick. They're not 2 notes very quick and then a gap. They fill a beat half each. So that's really important. So if this metronome was on in the background, let me put the metronome back on. So for me to say the crotchet word T, it would sound like this, the rhythm. T, 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 if it was T in every beat. If it was coffee in every beat, it would sound like this. Coffee, 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 coffee. And you can then hear, hopefully, how that word is helping us to make things fit in time. Okay, let me go back to the chart where we were before. So here we are. So far we've got 3 possible choices. Well, let me add a few more. So if I was to take 4 semiquavers, I'll just draw 4 semiquavers like that with the 2 beams across. Be very careful to do that as you draw it out. The name of this that I use is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. There we go. So if this is the pulse, Coca-Cola, 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 Coca-Cola. So at that point you've got to be really thinking about how fast or slow that tempo is to make sure that you've got time to perform all of those shorter duration notes within that beat. Okay, the more shorter notes we include, like in that situation, the more complicated it's going to make the rhythm. So that's something else you can think of. This task 3, it's not about how complicated you can make it. It's about how you can prove that you can write something that is your original rhythm and then perform it with control. Let's carry on, a couple more. So this time I've got 2 semiquavers and a quaver, which we'll call lemonade, because it's like short, short, long. Lemonade. If I was to draw out Coca-Cola as 4 equal quarters, just like I've got there, with a sound in each quarter, and then I was to show you how that relates to the lemonade rhythm. This is what the lemonade rhythm would look like. It would be lemonade, and then that last note, which is the quaver here, lasts for 2 quarter beats or a half beat. Okay, so this is Coca-Cola, 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 and this is lemonade rest, lemonade rest, lemonade rest. And I'm saying rest because there's nothing there, but actually it should just be lemonade, lemonade, lemonade. So let's do the opposite way round of that, which some students will probably like to use. And I've just switched that rhythm round so that I've got the longer note at the start. And I'm going to write that down as hot chocolate. And I'm going to spell chocolate wrong. It should have an extra letter in the middle of it. But by adding that extra letter, it gives me too many syllables, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'll draw my 4 boxes again so you can see how the beat is subdivided. That's what it's called, subdivided. And hot chocolate means I've got a sound there, and then a gap, and then 2 sounds. So you get hot chocolate, hot chocolate, hot chocolate. Okay, so these are some possibilities of what you could have in your 4-beat rhythm, and some of the choices you can make. So how can I make choices? Well, it's just like looking at a menu and choosing what you'd like to eat. So I'm going to have, in beat 1, I'm going to have a crotchet, or T if you like, and if it's helpful, write that word underneath as well. Then I'm going to have a crotchet rest, so I'm going to write sh underneath. Then I'm going to have 2 quavers connected together that equal 1 beat altogether. So that's going to be coffee. And then I'm going to finish it with lemonade. Okay, so if I was to say that in a pulse, I'm also thinking about beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. And if you've never done this before, it might be helpful to put your metronome on and just practice to begin with counting in time to the beat. So let me put the metronome on. And then I'll go back to my rhythm. There we go. So if you were to count with numbers, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you've got to really feel that pulse to be able to get this in time. If I said the words, it would be T, sh. Oh, it stopped. That was a bit of a shame. Let's start it again. Must be a demo version or something. Here we go. So it would be tea, sh, coffee, lemonade, tea, coffee, lemonade, tea, coffee, lemonade, tea, sh, coffee, lemonade, tea, sh, coffee, lemonade. And you can start to feel how that rhythm works. Now to tap this, or to demonstrate it, if I just say at this point, you'd press record on your camera, you press go on your metronome if this is comfortable, and then just tap the rhythm. Okay, now for you to pass this task, you only actually, just stop that for a second, you actually only need to clap or tap the rhythm once. You just need to do enough to show me the rhythm that you've written, and then perform the rhythm to be able to prove that you can control it and get it in time. Okay, so that is for task 3, and remember you need to hand in 2 things. You'll need to do a screenshot of that, or a photograph if you've written it on paper, and you need to do the recording with the metronome. Okay.